2025, the new generation of Nissan Murano. This is the top trim, which is Platinum. Now we have VC turbocharged. That instead of the hydraulic power steering, now you have electric assist power steering. It reminds me of Nissan Ariya, especially the rear light bar. The same great upholstery here with contrast stitching. There's semi-aniline quilted leather here. It is heated, it is ventilated, it is massaging. Slight acceleration, just one pedal. The sweet spot would be SL trim with all-wheel drive. Good afternoon everyone and welcome to my channel Roman Rides, and today I'm sharing a review of the 2025, the new generation of Nissan Murano. This is the top trim, which is Platinum. So today I'm going to share my driving experience, my driving impressions, as well as the new cabin, new features, new options, the pricing of this vehicle, and we'll compare it to the main competitors in its class. So stay tuned and let's go. All right, so I've been chasing this vehicle. I've been trying to find a dealer who has a few new Murano cars available, and finally I found one, which is courtesy Nissan here in Tampa, Florida, Tampa Bay area. So this is the 2025, the new one. It's I would say it's a ground up, the new from ground up model. I'll get to some technical specifications and details on this vehicle in just a few minutes, but let's start from the looks of this vehicle. This really reminds me of Nissan Ariya, especially the rear light bar. As you can see, Murano spelled out across the tailgate. You see all-wheel drive, Platinum. All-wheel drive is just a clutch pack, so there's no like actual central differential like in Subaru models, for example. So 20-inch alloy wheels. It's special color, which is the white pearl, if I remember correctly. So you have full LED lights, you have these different lenses available. So for the low beam, for the high beam, you have LED turn signal, LED blinkers integrated into the mirrors, as well as LED light bar in the back as well, 360 camera, parking sensors. And this, from this angle, this really reminds me the Hyundai Tucson with daytime running lights. So as you can see, it's kind of similar, but at the same time it's very different. And I know that the looks, the exterior of this vehicle is kind of polarizing, depending where your taste is and depending on what your preferences are. But from my personal standpoint, I think this vehicle really looks good. It is sleek, it is modern, especially you can see how bent the A-pillar is. So it's very different from the majority of cars. So nowadays SUVs and cars are trying to be like boxy and rowdy, you know, trying to be like off-road like looking vehicles. At the same time, Nissan is not going that route, which I really appreciate, especially if you take a look here, the fenders, they are not plastic. So usually cars in this segment like Hyundai Tucson and other cars, they're trying to be like kind of off-road vehicles, so they have a lot of plastic cladding around the fenders. This car doesn't have that, and I really like that. So it looks and feels more premium vehicle, to be honest, without this plastic on the fenders here. And so LED turn signals, pearl white, and you see the glossy black around everything, the new bumper, new fascia. So everything is, at least in this premium, at least in this Platinum model, everything is gloss black. So you have 5 bolts, 21-inch alloy wheels, black mirror caps, and you have keyless entry, but for the front doors only. And you have this satin chrome window molding. So at the bottom is just black, and it is satin chrome. So it's not a regular like classic chrome. You don't have roof rails though, but you have panorama, you have the antenna fin here, and you have very nice light bar in the back, which really reminiscent of Nissan Ariya. And obviously you have 360 camera and all of that. So let me know in the comment section, what do you think, guys, about this vehicle, about this new Nissan Murano 2025. Definitely it stands out the crowd. So it stands out of the pack in terms of design. Now let's take a look what's powering this vehicle, which is really interesting, and for some of you maybe disappointing, but instead of a beloved V6 3.5, which was a VQ35DD, if I'm not mistaken, now we have VC turbocharged. VC stands for variable compression turbocharged engine. It's a 2-liter, 241 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque, or around 350 newton-meters of torque, depending where you're watching my video, from Canada, from European countries. And it has made it to the 9-speed automatic transmission from ZF. Yes, the CVT is gone. Finally, it's gone. We will not miss CVT. Now you have 8-speed automatic transmission, which has some drawbacks, which you will see in the driving portion of this video. Obviously, nothing is perfect. There are some flaws, and I will share my driving experience and driving expressions in just a few minutes. So it is direct injection, and it is a port injection. So it's aluminum block, aluminum head. At the same time, you also have what I wanted to say, it's variable compression, which means that there is a special part in this engine which changed the compression from around 9 to 14. That's why this can explain actually some of the driving experience features that I experienced during the driving portion of this video. Unfortunately, the fuel economy is basically the same. It's around 21-22 miles per gallon in total on average. It's combined highway and city driving. And what else you have? The batteries here, the air box, air filter is there, the intake is located here, the turbocharger is located there behind the plastic cover, and that's about it, guys. So you see hood struts, and yeah, so 0 to 60 in about 8 seconds. Yes, this is not the quickest car in its segment. In terms of suspension, regular McPherson struts. Oh yeah, one of the features here is that instead of the hydraulic power steering, now you have electric assist power steering. This is what actually really different from the previous generation. 20-inch alloy wheels, McPherson struts up front, and then you have multi-link suspension in the back. Yeah, that's about it. In terms of the ground up vehicles, it's not like completely ground up new vehicles. Some of the parts in terms of the chassis itself, they are borrowed from the previous generation. But obviously all the sheet metal and the body panels, they're all new, and the silhouette and the everything else completely new, especially considering the cabin, the new cabin of this vehicle. Now let's take a look what's inside, and then we'll take a look at the pricing, we'll take it for test drive, and we'll sum it up. Let's take a look what's in trunk of this vehicle. Obviously it's power operated trunk. You have cargo cover here, but no spare tire, unfortunately. So this mats the separate equipment. You can buy it separately from the base Platinum model. You see it is Bose audio system. You see that subwoofer, but no spare tire, just have a flat tire fix kit. And that's about it. It's a small organizer there. Everything else is plastic here, similar to other cars in this class. You have cigarette style, cigarette lighter style outlet here, and yeah, so you can fold the seats down from here, as you can see, and you will have a completely flat floor. Take a look. I will add the cargo area dimensions here, and also you have a net here, some tie down and hooks for grocery bags, obviously, and you can put the cargo cover like that to cover your valuable belongings, and obviously you can close it as well as lock the door. Take a look at the light bar. I really like how this vehicle looks from behind. Tell me in the comment section, guys, what do you think about this? And so, as you can see, absolutely flat floor. So we can put it back up and see the second row. Second row seats here in 2025 Nissan Murano. You have manual sunshades, which is really nice. I'm really surprised that Infiniti QX80 for like $110,000 for the autograph trim doesn't have sunshades, which is really embarrassing. But at least you have it here in the Nissan Murano. I really like this sandwich-like style door panel. So you see like different trims, different materials used here. It's like leatherette upholstery here. The upper part of the door trim is like leatherette upholstery with contrast stitching here, and then a plastic insert here, as well as another leatherette but different color. Take a look how beautiful this door trim is. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous in this class of vehicles. You have bottle holder down there and some, you know, some cubbies to put your stuff, and then the door handle is really sturdy. And yeah, I really like this contrast stitching and attention to detail. To me, it looks more like Infiniti than Nissan, to be honest. And then continuing the review here. If you can see, the front seat is adjusted for myself. I'm 6.2 tall, and this is the lowest position, and I'm 6.2 tall, sitting absolutely comfortably. Sorry, there is something in my eye. Sitting absolutely comfortably here. I wish the panoramic roof was slightly longer to cover the overhead area of the passengers here, but at least it brings more sunlight to the cabin, which is really nice. In terms of upholstery, it's aniline, semi-aniline leather with some quilted inserts here. So you see the armrest with 2 cup holders, and yeah, it looks really nice. And obviously you don't have, you don't have a huge drive shaft hump here on the floor, which is really nice considering this is all-wheel drive. We have a regular drive shaft coming and connecting from the transmission assembly to the rear wheels. So this is really nice, and this will allow to seat like 3 people here across the board here. So you see AC vents, you have 2 USB Type-C and chargers, and you have heated rear seats, 3-stage heated rear seats, very nice. So yeah, a lot of room, a lot of knee room and headroom. So this car it looks really amazing inside, outside. So let's take a look what's up front in the cabin. Unfortunately, don't have keyless access for the rear doors, just for front doors. So before I get in the car, take a look. You have 2 memory positions available here. You have power folding mirrors and everything. Let me check. Yeah, it's fully automatic. Take a look. Yep. So it's fully automatic up and down, really nice. Again, the same great upholstery here with contrast stitching, but a different insert here. And I really like how Nissan actually combined that. So it looks really beautiful and very nice. Quilted leather, semi-aniline quilted leather here. It is heated, it is ventilated, it is massaging. So massaging for the first time for Murano, massaging seats, power operated seats as well. The really thing I'm missing here, because I'm a tall driver, is extender, under thigh extender. That would be great. That would be great to have. This is your button for massaging seats. So what else, guys? You have a host of safety assist systems. You have power operated steering wheel. You have heads-up display. You have heated steering wheel, obviously power operated trunk, auto hold, and you have electronic parking brake. So you have very nice steering. It is similar to what I tested in Infiniti QX80. So using these 2 buttons, you can switch between operating the fully digital gauge cluster and between operating the infotainment system, which is Google-based Android Automotive, which means that you have navigation built in Google Maps. As you can see, we are located here in Tampa. You have Google Voice Assistant here, and you have climate control functions partially buried in the infotainment system in terms of where to blow air to the glass, to the windshield, to your lower body, upper body. So, but some of the functions available here, like temperature controls, like defroster, defogger, and the fan speed is adjusted here. Automatic function is available here. Recirculation cabin available here, and temperature controls obviously available here. Start-stop button is available there. Your volume knob with the switching tracks, like syncing tracks, if you depending on what mode you are. It is wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, hazard flashlights, and different configuration settings here. You can go through and cycle through different menus. It is snappy, it's really quick. And if I go to the infotainment system, and if I go to the options, vehicle seat, you see I can enable massage seating. So massage seating, I can change the intensity and speed. The same I can do for the passenger seat, so it's very nice in this class. But it's mostly like lumbar support operated, similar to Infiniti QX80. It's not bad in this class. I wish Infiniti had something more sophisticated for the QX80 for the money they ask. And obviously the host of safety system, which is adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, emergency braking, going forward, backward, blind spot monitoring zone, Bose audio system, heads-up display. The steering wheel is really nice and meaty. You have paddle shifters for a 9-speed automatic transmission. And yeah, I mean, the contrast stitching here, attention to detail is just another level compared to the outgoing 2024 and older models of Nissan Murano. And this console, central console, actually reminds me of the Nissan Ari, especially this part, which looks like it's wood. It's made from wood, but I'm not sure. It looks like it's plastic, but these buttons, they actually have this haptic button feedback. When you touch it, you feel something similar to like Audi models, so which is really nice. So you can switch it on and switch it off. You have wireless charger to USB Type-C. This is your buttons for your shifter for a 9-speed automatic transmission. D mode, which stands for driving mode, sport, standard, eco, 2 cup holders, and huge central under armrest cubby available here, but no additional charging ports available there. The seats are really nice and gorgeous, plush, very soft. Again, heated, ventilated, and massaging seats. And panoramic sunroof. You have LED lighting, you have mirror with garage door controls. And overall, I mean, this is a very nice place to be. It looks very luxurious. It looks closer to Infiniti. It looks closer to Lexus than to competitors like Chevy Blazer, for example, or Honda Passport. It looks closer to me to Toyota Crown Signia, but I will add more on that later in this video. For the base model, it starts from around $42,000 before destination to the dealership. This is the fully loaded Platinum, which is all-wheel drive Platinum with a few options like splash guards, premium paint, $425, carpeted floor mats and cargo mat, and 3-position cargo area protector. So the total price is $52,725 before taxes, obviously. Fuel efficiency, as I mentioned, 23 combined, 21 city, 27 highway. And so the price range is between 42 and 5 before taxes, up to 52 with some options here. So like $10,000 delta between the lowest trim and between the highest trim with all the options. So I think it's not bad, really. This is where Lexus RX starts with a 2.4 turbocharged engine producing 275 horsepower. Obviously, Lexus is Lexus, and some people, they prefer buying Lexus no matter what. But to my standpoint, to my preference taste, I think that, I mean, just my standpoint, I mean, it's really close to Acura and some of the Infiniti products and some of the Lexus products. So let's take it for a quick drive and then we'll sum it up. 2025 Nissan Murano Platinum for a quick test drive. So let's start from a slight acceleration, just one pedal. All right, how would I characterize the acceleration? So because of the peculiarity of this engine, which is variable compression, turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder producing 240 horsepower. It's like 20 less than the previous generation with 3.5 naturally aspirated V6. And because of the fact that the CVT is gone now, and now we have got the 9-speed ZF, conventional automatic transmission with torque converter, plus variable compression, turbocharged engine, the way the car accelerates, it looks like each gear it upshifts to, like each time it starts, it looks like it starts like from 0 to 60, from 0 to 60. So there is no linear acceleration. Every time it's just like, you know, like an avalanche. So like an avalanche acceleration, like, I don't know, maybe it's hard to explain, but there's no linear acceleration. So definitely, and at the same time, there is a lot of torque steering. So obviously, we feel that this is the front wheel biased car, and obviously the engine is located transversely, not longitudinally, like in Nissan Armada, for example. And so the majority of the torque comes to the front wheels, and so you feel this parasite torque steering. So basically, torque steering means that you feel that the steering wheel is trying to go left and right, just because how much torque is actually coming to the front wheels before the rear axle engages. So because this is the clutch pack, it's not like Subaru all-wheel drive, for example, when it's like all-time, full-time all-wheel drive. This is a clutch pack, so it's like all-wheel drive on demand. The rear axle actually engages during like harsh acceleration, during like initial, from the get-go accelerations. And so that's why you have this type of acceleration. It's not linear, it's not progressive. It's like explosive acceleration. Every time the car upshifts to a new gear, to a higher gear, it's like a new explosion-like acceleration. So you have to test drive this vehicle, obviously. If you're kind of person that drives smoothly, you're not rushing anywhere, you just want to have a comfortable car, very nice and quiet, and finally the CVT is gone, then definitely this is vehicle that you may consider buying. And I would highly recommend this vehicle. I mean, I'm just the type of person that really like to have like more, you know, some reserve of power and torque, some extra torque and extra power just in case. For example, when you need to pass someone on a highway, when you need to merge into the road from one lane to another, for example, and you need this immediate acceleration. And so there is like no immediate acceleration, there is like a significant or at least a noticeable delay. So this is just the way this transmission works together with variable compression ratio engine. This is just the feature of this engine. So it's kind of different, I would say, compared to other turbocharged engines. On the bright side, it is very smooth during regular driving. So if you're driving like 30, 40, 50 miles an hour in a very gentle way, you will almost not notice any upshifts or downshifts. So this is the great part of driving this vehicle, which I really like and appreciate. And even on 21-inch alloy wheels, the riding comfort is really great. At the same time, if there are any dips or really, you know, harsh potholes, they definitely are gonna notice that if you go over that. But if you're a careful and cautious driver and you would like to, you know, drive around these potholes and you're not gonna drive into them directly, because you want to save your rims, you want to save your wheels in general, and you take care of your car, then it shouldn't be a problem for you. But obviously with 21-inch alloy wheels, it is better to drive on nicely paved roads. In terms of visibility, I see that the A-pillar is not really thick, which is a great point. So there is a lot of sunlight coming, the visibility is great, even though you have these small windows. The exterior mirrors are really great. So they are big enough, they are wide enough, and they are tall enough to provide great visibility to the rear. And so what's happening there. Plus with the panel roof, it is very bright, a lot of sunlight's coming here. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. The seating comfort is really nice. To be honest, I would like a longer cushion, and this is my general complaint in many cars. It's not just this Nissan Murano, just because I'm 6.2 tall. I prefer seats with extendable under thigh support. But that's just me. If you like up until 6.1 maybe 5.9, something like that, 5.10, then shouldn't be a problem for you. Yeah, during like normal driving in the normal mode, the acceleration is very linear. But as soon as you start going on throttle, this is where you're gonna notice, you know, this explosive acceleration each time the car upshifts. This is the best way to describe how this vehicle actually behaves during acceleration. The reality is that Nissan is trying to introduce this variable compression ratio engines to more and more vehicle. And on the bright side of the situation, you have now the ZF 9-speed automatic transmission, which should serve longer, which should have better reliability. In terms of fuel efficiency, pretty much the same compared to the previous generation. This is the first generation Nissan Murano, actually, standing there. So now the speed limit is 45, we are doing like 48, and it's very confident. And I really like the posture on the road, the stance, and because of the wider front and rear tracks, I think the car in general feels more stable on the road. Yeah, it drives over bad pavement here, some asphalt patches, high granular asphalt. Definitely it goes smoother over that types of road compared to the previous generation. This is like the brand new car. I didn't hear any racks squeaks at all. Before you drive into a really harsh pothole, only then would you notice that the suspension travel is not enough for really deep potholes. So if you're driving around and you get into, moderate, like light to moderate potholes or some road imperfections, that's totally fine. But as soon as you get into really deep pothole, then you will notice that, because generally the suspension travel for the front and rear shocks is really limited here. That's why you will see the hit there. Other than that, it is a very pleasant vehicle to drive and the space to be in. So again, if you're interested in buying the new 2025 Murano, welcome to Courtesy Cars, Courtesy Nissan in Tampa, and ask for Red. So Red will help you buy this car. No additional markups. After driving this vehicle, what I'd like to say, Nissan Murano 2025. First of all, the acceleration of the car is not linear. If you're in a hurry, if you're in a rush somewhere, I don't know, whatever emergency can be, for example, you need to drive home as soon as possible, something happened, God forbid, for example, or I don't know, it's like empty highway and you'd like to have like a 5 minutes of spirited driving, obviously, considering speed limits. So it's not a linear acceleration engine because of the compression, a variable compression part of this engine. It's like avalanche-like acceleration. So every time the car upshifts, you feel like another acceleration from 0 to 60. What I mean by that is that there is significant delay and there are dips between transmission changes the gear. So if you're starting to drive from the first, there is significant delay between it engages the second gear and then so on and so forth. So basically every time the car upshifts, there is like a dip. And if we had a graph, for example, demonstrating the acceleration line, probably it will be like accelerating, then changing gear, there is a dip, then again second gear, then again dip, and so on and so forth. So basically it's not linear. It's not like Volkswagen turbocharged engine. It's not like, even not like the regular turbocharged engine like Lexus, for example, Acura RDX, for example. There is a linear acceleration. So every time the transmission switches, the transmission upshift, they're like very snappy. There is no huge delay between transmission changes. But because this engine has the variable ratio component to that, so this is why it causes that. Again, if you're not in a hurry, if you're not in a rush, if you're not trying to go somewhere as soon as possible, it will not be a problem, but you have to know. But at the same time, the transmission is mated to this engine very nicely in terms of how smooth it operates. So definitely based on that, definitely on how begrudgingly this car is accelerating, you will make a decision that yes, this car is not built for like active driving or spirited driving. So obviously it's 20 HP less than the outgoing model. So probably most people will appreciate how smooth this vehicle and how softly sprung the suspension, even considering 21-inch alloy wheels, and it's for moderate driving. Obviously, it's not for spirited driving. If you want to have something quicker, obviously you want to buy something else. This car is for, for very relaxed and unstressed, stress-free driving. So definitely, because even though you can be in standard mode, like not the sport mode, just a regular standard mode, or even the sport mode, even if you're in the sport mode, still there is a delay from the traffic light, for example. If you want to accelerate quicker, you will feel like 1 to 2 second delay before the engine engages the higher compression ratio in order to get going as soon as possible. So you know what I'm saying? I would really recommend you to come in and try and test this vehicle before buying that. But if you're not in a hurry, once again, you will appreciate how smooth this vehicle operates, how smooth the transmission is, and how softly and balancedly you know, the suspension is configured. So enough of that. In terms of pricing, from 42 to around 52 with some options, this is the delta and this is your price range. I think it's quite reasonable for what you get, especially considering that you have massaging seats, you have power operated steering wheel, you have massaging seats, heated steering wheel, you have heads-up display, and very nice material. So attention to detail is just beyond my imagination before my expectations, even like beyond my expectation before I took this vehicle for a test drive. Very nice, very solid, very nice materials used here. It's not a promo video. I'm not affiliated with this dealership or with Nissan headquarters. I'm just sharing my opinion because a few years, like 4 years ago, I tested the previous generation Nissan Murano, and definitely I see a huge step up in terms of materials. The build quality, noise insulation is just great. You don't hear anything. I didn't hear any squeaks or rattles here, so I really like this vehicle. So probably the sweet spot would be SL trim with all-wheel drive, with some niceties here, but at the same time, you will not get the heads-up display on the other hand. You will not get the massaging seats if you're not going with the top trim platinum, with the top level platinum trim. So enough of that. I think that's about it. This is my conclusion. This is my summary. I would recommend this vehicle, and it's really similar to Toyota Crown Signia, which I tested a few weeks ago. Definitely, it's very close. The perception of quality, the perception of a luxury vehicle is definitely present here. So guys, hopefully you enjoy watching this video. I'm sharing my honest and my subjective, obviously, review, but hopefully it helps you to determine what car you want to buy. Again, please subscribe to this channel, please hit the like button, and stay tuned for new videos. More videos are coming. Next will be Nissan Armada in a few weeks. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.